Hey, what's going on? Welcome to Move Fast, Lift Heavy podcast. This is Joe Roscoe, co-host of MFLH Pod. Thanks for tuning in. If you've been tuning in on the regular and you haven't subscribed or rated the pod or left a comment yet, that'd be greatly appreciated. Help us spread the word about this little ditty we're doing here. We're going to bring on our co-host and founder of MFLH, Christian Harris, in just a second. But it's a good time to be a part of the MFLH crew. So if you're not training with us online, you can check us out at mflhtrain.com or movefastliftheavy.com. Either of those will get you to subscribing to our online training program where you will train directly like Christian Harris and also be coached up by him. We are an interactive program. It's not just a follow along WOD blog. You definitely are getting feedback and coach's eye on your programming on the daily. So if you want to sign up, get you a free MFLH t-shirt with sign up. Check that out, movefastliftheavy.com. If you haven't followed us yet on the gram, we're at movefastlift.heavy. As always, we have some apparel drops coming up. One's going to be on Monday, October the 4th. Christian will talk to you about that. So don't forget about our apparel that's releasing what seems like every day. Christian always is cooking up some fire designs. So again, it's a great day to be an MFLH crew member. And if you're watching on YouTube, you see my Cleveland Brown shirt. It's a great day to be a Brownie, baby. We're on fire this year. You better watch out. All right, that'll do it from me. Let's bring on the man, Christian Harris. Yo,
the Browns.
The Brownies, though. I've been wearing these t-shirts since I was 4 years old. Now I actually get to be proud about wearing these t-shirts.
Yeah, man, good for you. You've been in the game for a long time.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, my second cousin is Bernie Kosar, my dad's first cousin. So Bernie is a quarterback legend at in Cleveland. So yeah, man. Speaking of legends, you're a legend, Christian. You're a legend. Let me just tell you why.
I appreciate that, man.
Let me just tell you why, though. Let me tell you why, right? So I follow along with the program, right? And I still don't think people fully fathom what it is to be at an elite level like you are in the CrossFit space. Because I get to see your times, when I'm following along, or I just did the ring muscle up snatch pro day workout today. Got a whopping 920 on it. I wasn't like in competition mode, so I'm a gamer. I think I could get that into the 8s, no doubt. But I was being a little conservative with that 185 snatch. Didn't want to miss any, but you're just in the midst of it, and you're like, man, Christian looked like he was struggling doing this, and he still beat me by 3 minutes, And another thing that really just like hit me over the head was I did that local competition in Miami and was lucky enough to place second behind a stud, but thanks to your programming. But I'm thinking of
kudos
myself,
to you, my friend.
Oh yeah, thanks, appreciate that. But the main reason I bring it up is because I'm thinking, wow, I'm wrecked right now. And then just think, if you're at the games, you got 3 more days of that. You got 4 total days of just getting slaughtered. So you're a legend. Kudos to you, bro.
Thank you, man. I think a lot of people actually don't realize that it's not really the performance on a day-to-day, it's your recovery, right? Because if you're trashed and wrecked going into the next day, you're not going to be able to perform whatsoever.
Yeah.
So
one thing I do like about what I'm doing right now, there's some pluses and minuses to it. Obviously, there's good and bad, but right now I combine the AM PM like you do as well. And when I hit the PM Metcon, so basically what I did just today, the Pro Day Metcon, I've already done 35 minutes of conditioning from the AM session and about an hour or so or more of like lifting. So I'm thinking to myself, hey, you probably could show up a little bit better in this Metcon, but it's going to prepare you for competitions, or it's going to prepare you for that volume training that, hey, I'm going to get punched in the face, but I'm going to be able to keep coming back harder than these other guys that might just be, doing their one Metcon a day. Again, sorry to interrupt. Again, pluses and minuses, people. There is that, just hit one Metcon at 100% intensity. Yes. But if we're talking about volume training, then I've definitely saw some positive outcomes from setting up my sessions like that.
Cool. That's good feedback.
What about you? So I know you always are smashing those AM and PMs together. Do you ever have maybe Saturdays? Do you ever have a day, where you're hitting a Metcon and you feel like, oh, my gas tank's full and I'm about to just go ham on this thing?
Yeah, that's usually Saturday, only because Saturday isn't an AM PM. Plus I'm training a little bit later than I normally am, and there's energy in the gym, right? I'm not training in the gym by myself. So all those factors definitely take into account for a little bit of a better session. So yeah. And then also once the season starts to swing around, I will definitely start breaking up my sessions into 2. So
just so you get that bang for your buck.
Yeah, definitely. I also started mapping out the preseason program stuff. I got about 4 or 5 weeks done. So that will begin in mid-November.
Okay. What do we have to look forward to on the online training crew?
So a lot of the AM sessions will have some gymnastics work in there. And it won't strictly be monostructural stuff. So you'll see almost like longer Metcons in a sense. So like for an example, like every 3 minutes you'll row 250, sandbag carry 100 feet, and then do like 10 handstand push-ups for multiple rounds, stuff like that.
Got it. Got you. Okay, can't wait. Thanks for taking it easy on those jerks straight into front squats. I didn't have those this week yet. I don't think they're at the end of the week. I hope not. But I appreciate you laying off those this week.
Those are nasty, man.
Yeah, those are gnarly. All right, cool. So everyone that's listening, I did want to take just a moment to chat about that, because it's funny. What was said one time, like people don't shoot free throws in their driveway and just say they're going to the NBA. But I think in CrossFit, a lot of the times, people do a power clean or a muscle up or two, and some people have those like aspirations of like, oh, I'm games ready, I'm going. But that is not the case, my friend. I last week, or no, not, maybe 2 weeks ago, you had that wall walk, 225 power clean, and that might have been it. It might just been it was a couplet. Yeah,
couplet.
Yeah, so I'm repping my 225 power cleans, pretty good, like not bad as far as singles pace go. And then there was a member at the gym I go to, like, are you a games? They never saw me before. And they're like, are you a games athlete? And I'm like, absolutely not. Like, but you were just sparkling 225 like it was nothing. I was like, it was pretty tough. But like, if you were a games athlete, you would have been done about 10 minutes ago. So yeah, again, kudos to y'all. Like, y'all are MVPs for what you're able to do. Y'all are superheroes out there. So if you want to be a superhero like Christian Harris, or maybe 50% of one, which would still make you an epically good athlete, check us out, movefastlift.com. All right, let's get into the apparel side. We have yet to really dive deep into this. And I'm extremely interested in following the brand for so long and seeing how you just pump out these different designs. And I just want to peel back the curtain a bit and see how you get into the nitty gritty of starting this stuff. So let's just jump in with the detailed example of the drop coming up this Monday, October 4th at 9 a.m. Tell us a little bit about that and how the evolution of that just started.
Yeah, so obviously this time of year, it's the fall. We're getting ready for Halloween. The title of this drop is called Scary Hours. So while it is in with the season, the title of Scary Hours, you'll see the Seth logo with he's melting off, and underneath is a skull. You kind of have that Halloween-esque type vibe with the logos. If you see the colors of the drop, the palette is very Halloween. We're using orange, we're using purple, black, things like that. Scary Hours for me is aside from a Drake reference, Scary Hours is the hours where most people don't like to be, and it's the hours where you can get a lot of work done, right? So Scary Hours for me is like that early 5 a.m., 6 a.m. time. It's the start of the day. It's the hustle hour. And for a lot of people, waking up that early is pretty scary. But that's kind of the inspiration with this drop.
Nice.
You also see we did a little play on the Drake album that just came out, Certified Lover Boy. He had like a bunch of emojis on it with different colors.
Right.
So we just kind of like put the Seths together with that same color palette as the CLB album cover.
Got it. Very cool. Yeah. And the Scary Hours can also be relatable to us that aren't psychotic like you and get up at 4:30 every morning. We could just relate as like you said, it's your grunt hour. It's like, oh, I'm at the gym. It's time to put in work. It's the Scary Hour. So I'm down with that.
Yeah. 100%.
So just out of like you talking for 2 minutes there, you already said you had inspiration from the holiday coming up. So then you started talking about the color palette of the oranges and things like that. Then you dropped the Scary Hours, which is like a theme that you looped in with Halloween, but you also related to your training. And then you also brought up music reference from Drake. So I'm just highlighting all that because, like, as consumers or customers, all we see is like, oh, cool. It's like some skulls, there's colors, and that design's dope. But really, how it all comes about is this like collective tornado, if you will, of all these things swarming around in your head. Like the Drake thing. Now that I see the skulls, yeah, totally see the emoji album that he has. So that's cool.
Yeah,
you tip
like a lot of the clothing stuff. There's a story, right? Pretty much every drop that we do, there's a story behind it. And we also put these like little blurbs out there on the website. If you guys have ever read into it, we'll post a little lookbook, which basically shows the drop, but then underneath it just shows a little bit of the inspiration behind the drop. So if you guys are ever browsing on the website and you want to see the inspiration behind it, just tap on that.
That's cool. We need to make that more. We need to spotlight that more. I'm gonna work on that for the gram. We're gonna make sure people don't miss that, because I think if you can see something that you like, that's one thing. But if you can relate to something on top of it, it's it's a whole other thing. And when people walk up to you, oh, I love your shirt, you have a story to tell. You have a background.
You could connect to it.
Yeah. So you brought up the holiday and the music. Do you have like any other things in the back of your mind that you look back on, other designs you've had where you've drawn inspiration or influence from, other than music or maybe the holiday coming up?
Yeah, I mean, typically it's athlete based. Growing up, just watching, like I was a big, still am, huge Yankee fan. So just watching sports, all kinds, really, football, baseball, basketball, boxing, all that stuff. You know, I'm a 90s baby, so there's a lot of like 90s inspiration and influence in a lot of the stuff that I put out there. Sneaker culture plays into a lot of the design. So even like we did a drop a while ago where we took Jordan color schemes and put those in with the designs of our shirts. So like some of the, popular Jordan colorways, and, did shirts that were in those same palettes, stuff like that. Sometimes we do what's called a quick strike, which is usually inspired by moments in pop culture, and it's things that happen really quick. So the most recent one that we've done was the Please Stand By shirt. It was inspired by Kanye's lateness to his album release party.
Yeah.
So we did a shirt that was kind of based off of that.
Nice. Let's get into the sketch that I saw of Seth that you've put up a couple of times with like adding some arms and legs, and where did that come from? And when you sit down to start drawing stuff out, like, I guess it's probably just depending on that's individual circumstance, but yeah, walk us through this past I guess rendering or design of Seth.
Sure. So as a creative person, I always work best when I have a clear head. So when I have tasks that need to get done, or if I'm stressed out, it's tough to work through the creative juices when you have other things that are kind of bogging you down. So when I have a clear head, things can really start flowing.
Sorry to interrupt. I'm just laughing. Like, you mean like when I'm texting you to like, yeah, hey, can you do this, or hey, and you're sitting there just trying to like draw your Seth, and you're like, well, you just shut the F up and leave me alone. All right, sorry, go ahead.
So clear head always makes for the most creative sessions. So I forgot where I was going with that, but
well, you were saying when you sit down to be a creator, like you have to have a clear mind, and you can't have people interrupting me like like I am right now, or like your cell phone text beep coming through that everyone gets to hear on this podcast all the time.
For sure.
We get it. You're a liked guy. People like to text you. You don't have to have the volume up so we can all hear it. We get it. People want to reach out to you.
So a clear head makes for a creative mind. That's what we're trying to get at.
Absolutely. Okay.
So I've had this this thing where I've wanted to make a caricature of Seth, kind of like a retro cartoon, and I've actually was going to outsource this at one point to see if I can have a graphic designer do it, just because I didn't really have the time or the headspace to kind of sit down and hammer away at it. So months later, this is probably last week or the week before, I kind of just sat down. I had some free time and just sketched out a caricature of Seth. And basically he is kind of doing like a Super Mario kind of jump, throwing up the peace sign, just having a good old time. It's a very fun logo. I don't know if you have it there, but
I'm pulling it up. Yeah, I'm going to put it up on the YouTube screen here in a second if you're following along on YouTube. But so you were actually thinking about just hiring someone to do it. What made you pull the trigger and do it yourself?
I've just never done that before. as far as hiring an outside source. I've always done everything myself.
Yeah.
And I said, why start now when I know I can do it?
Okay. And did you have any hiccups along the way?
No, it's pretty smooth sailing. So what I did was I sketched it out on paper.
Okay.
And then once I have the initial sketch on paper, what I typically would do for anything that I've drawn by hand is I'll literally just use my iPad and take a picture of the sketch. And then I upload it into a program called Adobe Draw. And with Adobe Draw, I use my stylus pen and just kind of re-sketch what I did. But in Adobe, all of your lines are very clean and it gives you a vectorized image. Then what I would do is import that to my computer into Adobe Illustrator. And then I can kind of start working with the vector image to get it ready for print and add any text or colors and things like that.
Nice. If you're watching on YouTube, on our Move Fast Lift Heavy channel, this is like a screenshot from one of Christian's stories in the early phases of him making this Seth we're talking about. If you're listening on the podcast and you're like, who the hell is this Seth person? Like, what are they talking about? It's basically a smiley face, X's for the eyes, but the smile is a barbell. So that's Seth. You can check that out on the website or at Move Fast Lift Heavy on Insta. So I still want to keep diving into your inspiration for all this. Cause again, like it's cool to get the background on. I myself, big Jordan, big 90s kid as well. Got Jordan in the background right now. Finally hung that picture up. It's been sitting on that couch for about 2 months now. Finally got it up there. Got
Looks
my
good.
Christmas Story leg lamp. You see that? See that right there? You know about that? You're blind. You can't see it probably.
Oh yeah, no, I see it. I see it.
Go back in your mind and let's talk about one or two of your favorite designs or lines that you've ever come up with. Let's end the episode like that. Anything that you're like, oh yeah, that's the one. I always love that one.
Let's see, what do we have coming up here? Hang on one sec. I mean, I really like the Scary Hours drop. I just feel like it's a lot of fun.
So and that's one of your favorite of all time?
It's so the vibe right now. Nah.
What are one or two your most favorite of all time?
Probably my favorite of all time is the Wendler Collection from maybe 2 years ago. I don't know if you have that or not, but basically it was the first time we've done the Wendler Collection. And if you're not familiar with Wendler, he was a power lifter. And where are we at here?
Mr. 531.
Mr. 531. And what I did with that drop initially was I created 5 normal style t-shirts. So between men's and women's tops, I did 3 fleece wear pieces, and then one hat. And that's kind of like where that drop was.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Like, no one's thinking that, but those details is what takes, something like this to another level. Sorry, I had this. Let me just had to give you an applause real quick. All right, sorry. 531 ends with one hat. Okay, keep going. Sorry.
No, thank you. So that kind of became our staple fall drop. So we've done that every year since. This is our 3rd year of doing the Wendler Collection. And typically it's very neutral colorways, a lot of navy blues, burgundies, olive greens, tans, things like that. So your typical fall type colors. We try to use logos that are very simple because the program is very simple.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm actually wearing the shirt right now. It just says Move Fast, Lift Heavy in a circle. It's very simple, nothing too crazy, too loud. And that's typically my style, is more neutral tones. So that's why it's usually one of my favorite drops of the year.
Cool.
It was also the first time we introduced a flannel.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
Yeah, it said the brunch crew on the back.
Yeah, yep. I remember this. Well, cool. Thanks for entertaining me and, letting me dig. Because I, for everyone listening, have a pretty extensive background in acting. And when you're watching movies, for someone that has a background like myself, you can track things like metaphors that the screenwriter put in there. You can track things like why the director maybe did a certain shot the way he did, and so on and so forth. When I'm sitting next to maybe like my wife or a friend and I bring up these things to them and they're like, what are you talking about? Like, cause they're just watching what they're watching. It's just a movie, And I bring that up because I'm relating that to you in your expertise. It's like, you're a true artist. And I think for you to be as high of a caliber CrossFit athlete as you are, I think it's extremely rare that you would also have such a depth in this artistry. So again, I
appreciate it, man.
I'm just, everyone that's listening. Everyone that's listening
with a pen and pad for a long time, man.
Yeah, I bet. Everyone that's listening, Christian does cut me a check for $100 for every single compliment I give him. So I think I'm up to over $1,000 by now on this episode. So I can't wait to get paid out. I appreciate that deal you gave me. I promise I won't tell anyone about. Oh, wait, never mind. I just said that to everyone. So, all right, man. That's all I wanted to chat about. A fairly quick one today. Usually we're kind of close to that 1 hour mark, but we're going to wrap it up in about a 30-minute episode. So everyone that's listening, it's this is going to release on Monday. So actually the drop is happening right now if you're listening on Apple or Spotify or something like that. So hurry up, go to movefastliftheavy.com and get this merch before it sells out, because it will. Christian, anything you want to close with?
Yeah, to any creators out there, if you guys find yourselves in a little bit of a writer's block or a little bit of a funk in whatever your craft is, try to clear your head. Definitely makes a difference. Get your work done and create some solid time for yourselves to sit down and do what you do best.
Nice. All right, man. Appreciate you. Thanks for joining me today on the pod. I'll talk to you when I talk to you.
All right, man.
Later. All right, everyone. That was Christian Harris. I'm Joe Roscoe on Move Fast, Lift Heavy podcast. Thanks again for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed or rated the pod yet, please do so. It'd be greatly appreciated. Don't forget about our online training program, MFLHtrain.com, or you can also peep that at movefastliftheavy.com. Until next time, love to the MFLH fan. Go Browns, and we'll see you when we see you later.